Okay. All right. According to my mics, it's on. Let's see. I don't know what's going on because I just checked my mic and I'm that good. All right. I checked my mic and it said it was there. I don't know what was going on, but thank you, Strange Fruit. I appreciate you for letting me know. It would have been awful just talking, and nobody understanding or hearing me. So anyway, welcome to Manifesting Friday Live. Um, this is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and I am just looking forward to today's talk and the different things that I've kind of researched this week. This has been a really good kind of week. I don't know where you are, but here in the Dallas area, we've been warm and we've been cold. We've had some 32-degree weather and, but the sun is shining and that's what counts for me. So welcome. Um, if you could have anything at all right, if you could have anything and you had all the money that you needed, what would you create? And sometimes when you get asked that question, thank you for the thumbs up. When you get asked that question, for me, sometimes it's like, what would I do? How would I, kind of thing? Oh, yeah, the normal things, you might, for me, it might be do some remodeling in the house, or it might be, find a new vehicle, or some people would buy a new home. But sometimes, if you think about it, if you have anything at all that you want and money was no object, what would it be? What would you create in your life? Well, most of us don't have that option. That's something that we just kind of think about and dream about, and we don't have that option. So, when we're looking to bring something into our life, when we're looking to manifest, when we're looking to um, make some changes in our life, whether that's health, wealth, relationships, beauty, whatever it is, then we have to think, most of the time we have to think of a plan. We've got to say, okay, how am I going to do this? And a lot of times we have no clue. So when we're thinking about what we want, we think about it as if it's already there, is what we need to do. We can't say, well, in the future, I'm going to take a trip to Kathmandu. In the future, I'm going to travel the United States. Someday, I'm going to do something. That is my dream, that someday. And a lot of times, that someday never shows up. You might have a couple trips, something might show up in your life, but you've never really looked at it. And so today, it's why you must manifest from the end to be successful. And what do I mean, manifest from the end? Well, many years ago, I think there was a book, and I don't remember the name of it, but the basic thing the guy said is you must begin with your end in mind. Or somebody else, another class I went to, they said, write your obituary. What would you like to have on your obituary? What do you want to accomplish? And they would tell you those things, and you'd think about that and how you want to be remembered and all of that wonderful things and some of the things you wanted to accomplish. And they say, okay, so how are you going to have that happen? And to me, that's the old way, the 3D way. And 3D, when I'm talking 3D, it's in this everyday world we're in. Um, that's the ordinary way of happening. And a lot of times, if you ever did that and you still had that paper around, go take a look at it and see how much you wrote down is on there. Because a couple of things needed to happen while you were writing that down. One, if you were looking at what you wanted to accomplish or that obituary thing, or whenever you're looking into the future, how did you feel about it? And when they told you reach for the moon, reach for the stars, do all those things, how did you feel inside about that? You probably were a little, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh yeah, that's nah, that's yeah. Well, I'll go for the star anyway and hope for the moon. And you can't feel that way when you're writing down those goals, those ideas. So you manifest from the end. And what does that mean to you? So let's see. I want to go to Tuscany. I want to go to Tuscany. I don't want to go on a tour. I want to be able to go on my own. Hopefully, I can have a companion with me so it's not lonely. And even if I don't have a companion, there's going to be a way for it not to be lonely. Okay, that's it. I have no emotion in there, right? But while I was telling you that, I was visualizing, what was it, Eat, Pray, Love, or the Under the Tuscan Sun movie. I was visualizing what the landscape looked like, but I didn't have any emotion behind that because it needs for me to take a moment in silence in order to do that. So when you think from the end, you are the master of your fate. So I'm thinking of the end of taking that trip in Tuscany and all the things. And before COVID hit, I had done some research on going there and trips and that kind of stuff. So I was making the steps to do that. But you must define your end. You know, it's not just going to Tuscany, it's going to the wineries, enjoying the food. It's all those things combined with why do I want to go there? I could easily go somewhere else, right? I could go to Greece or Athens or, I could want Thailand. All of those are on my list, but so you're formulating this aim in life. For me, it's that trip. What is it for you? Is it a new business? Is it something else? So formulate that aim in your life. Define that what it is that you want to accomplish. And then I want you to feel yourself into that aim or situation. So you want to think from that end, not of it. There is a definite difference of thinking from versus of. When I think from or actually being in Tuscany, I am in Tuscany. I am doing things in Tuscany. I'm in a vineyard. I'm in an outdoor restaurant. I am in Tuscany. But if I think of Tuscany, I could look at some pictures, I could watch the movie, but me emotionally, physically, you know, in my brain, in my subconscious, I'm not there. I'm thinking of it. So you want to think from it instead of thinking of it. So most people set their goals or their plans or their desires, and they continue to dream of it as in the future, someday, or yeah, by 2022, I'm going to do so and so. But it's always of it, right? They're dreaming of it. I mean, as I said, you may even have set a date by which you want to have it completed. but you're thinking of it, not from it. So I was trying to think of a name for you who follow me. And since I talk about the prime directive and I want you to take um, command of your life, take and be a director of your life, I think I'm going to call you director rectors. A rector is a term for I think a pastor who takes care of a parish. All right. So you're going to be, well, it might be just director. I had to think more about it. You let me know in the comments, but you are a director. So basically, I'm going to tell you, you're my directors in your life. You actually emotionally, mentally must occupy the state of your goal or the achievement you want to be in. And some of you go, I don't know how to do that. Well, think about when you were a kid and you were daydreaming, and, girls, we might have had our dolls and playing with our dolls and playing like mommies, or, we might have played with trains or, whatever it was, but we were pretending. And when we were pretending, we were from it, not thinking of it when you're in that pretend. So when you're in that pretend state, you radiate the state. You are in it. You think from it. You are doing it. It's the, what is it? Fake it till you make it. Well, there are some ways that you wind up faking it till you make it. In this one corporate job I had, they said, dress as though you were already in that new job. Act as though, perform as though you were in that next job you wanted. So you may not have been in it, but they had, it's funny, they weren't teaching this law of attraction stuff, but they were actually teaching you how to get there. And some people would go, yeah, okay, shoot, I'm not going to do all that work. For me, I was working with guys that were debugging programs. Well, I changed the way I dressed. I started dressing like them. I started paying attention to their conversation. I started, back then they had this stuff called microfiche. So no computer that I could look at, but these microfilms that I can look at. And I'd try to figure out what they were doing, but I would listen. I started acting as though I was in that position. And within a couple of years, actually within a year, I was in that position, being trained for that position. The next thing I wanted to do was become an instructor. I began to think like an instructor. I started doing little seminars where I was thinking from the position that I wanted. So you look at that. And so I think of it as a child, I played like a um, a teacher. And infinite intelligence heard that, and eventually I became a teacher, and I'm here teaching and sharing with you. One of the people that I've talked about so much is Neville Goddard, and he likes to give some examples. And he gave an example that I really like, but I also pulled it into how I feel. So just think of this. I'm on stage. I've been on many stages and I'm talking to you as an audience. So I'm here on YouTube talking to you and you're my audience. And when I'm on stage, I see my audience. I see the chairs, I see the people, I see the ones that are, actively participating. I see the ones that are half asleep. I see and I visualize when I'm not on stage all these people in the audience because I'm visualizing as the speaker and putting out information for you. You in the audience are looking up and seeing the stage. And you may see the people next to you in their chairs, and you're seeing the stage. And if I've got PowerPoint screen up there, you'll see the screen and you'll see other things, but you're looking at me from the vantage point of of the seats, and I'm looking at you from the vantage point of the stage. So you're in the audience and you want to be where I am. You want to be in that stage. You have to see yourself on the stage looking out at the audience. You've got to be able to visualize that. When I first went to do that, I said, I need a way to visualize it. I just asked the infinite intelligence, I need a way to make this real. I need a way to really see myself on stage. And I went to an event, and the event was packed, tons of people in the audience, and I got called up on stage. And I got to look out, and while I was on stage, I pretended that I was the person everybody came to see. But now I had that mental image of doing that. You can find, depending on where you want to be and what you want to do, if you want a certain car, go test drive it so that you can physically feel it. Now, I can't test drive Tuscany, right? But I can watch movies and then I can visualize myself in that state. You have to bring yourself into the state that you want to be. So do that big pretend like you did as a kid. You know, if you're healthy, you know what it feels like to be healthy. If you want good health, you know what it feels like to be healthy. Or it may have been a long time, so you pretend about you are healthy. There's one statement that you can do every day, and that is every day in every way, I am healthier and healthier. And it is so. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. One of the things Neville says that if you can't visualize yourself in that space, one of the things you can do is just say thank you. And inside of you, feel that gratitude, the gratitude that you have what you've asked for. And as you feel that gratitude of having that, you may be able to feel yourself occupying that desirable end, right? And you are thinking from it instead of thinking of it. Because there is a wide gap between from and of. So train yourself to see yourself in that position and not see yourself as in watching yourself on a movie screen, but see yourself with your own eyes doing what you want to do, assuming it from the end. Believe that you have received and it will be yours. Sometimes it's right away, sometimes it's shortly. And ask yourself now, what would it be like to fully embody the state I want to be? What does it feel like? What does it feel like to have that vehicle that you've always wanted? What does it feel like to have that relationship? How would you be if you had that thing? Would you be happy? Would you be jump? Would you be smiling all the time? Would you be talking to your friends about it? How's that? Just me saying that changes how I feel inside. Just my having those words helps me bring that feeling up. Bring up and think about when you've had that feeling before and allow it to come into place as you are feeling from that place that you want to be. You can if you're still having a hard time, You can put into place that prime directive that I've said. I command. I have no need to know how. And whatever it is that you are wanting to come into your life, make sure that you are in a meditative state when you do this. Get yourself into the mental states of alpha and theta. And I'm sure I have some videos on this channel about that, but I'm going to need to talk about those mental states, those states that you're in that helps you. And then teaching you how you know that you're in either alpha or theta, and that you know that your request has been transmitted to infinite intelligence. So, what is it that you need to do? You need to think and feel and dream from the state that you want to be versus thinking of being in that state. So let's see what today's affirmation is going to be. Okay, here we go. So hopefully that information was helpful to you, and just kind of practice that, and give me a what I want to say, an update in the comments from this week or next week. All right. So let's look at our affirmation, and I think I've already put it in the description. I am conscious of the inner presence of my benefactor, applying abundance in my life. Let me say that again. I am conscious of the inner presence inside of me of my benefactor supplying abundance in my life. This infinite mind is constantly active in my consciousness. My benefactor, and whatever name you have given your benefactor, who resides within me, is the source and substance of all prosperity within and without. My benefactor provides the ways and means for my abundance to be manifested. And the way that your benefactor can supply those ways and means is that you must communicate what you want, what you desire, through being in the state from, instead of thinking of what you want. Visualization is absolutely important. You must be able to visualize what it is that you want it, whatever you desire to look like when you have it. And you do this, and I've given examples. Let me give this example again of going past Sawgrass Steakhouse and saying, I haven't been there in forever. I really want to go there. And in that moment, I passed. So Sawgrass Steakhouse was on the corner. I'm going through the traffic light to the other side. I look at the steakhouse. Immediately, I picture myself inside the steakhouse. This was like automatic. It was like inside the steakhouse. I was sitting at a table. I didn't see who was across from me, but I knew that there was somebody there. And I felt that I was in there, and it came back out. That was seconds, right? But I knew, I started laughing. I knew it was going to show up because I was in it. I was visualizing from for being with. Thank Strange Food. I will see you next week. And as you have believed, let it be done to you. And it is so.